Hi, okay, thanks so much for coming back. So, we're doing a bit of a kind of a marathon of vlogs today to get through um, the five things that you think you're going to need to spend money on when you start up and what you don't actually have to spend money on. So, if you check out our vlog before, it's entitled Vlog 82 and that is step 1. Now this is vlog 83 and this is step 2. And this is the first of the 5 things that we're going to talk about that most people include in their business plan, and they usually include quite large amounts against them, especially this first one. So the first one is advertising. So advertising comes in a variety of ways. You've obviously got your sort of mainstream advertising, which is quite kind of dated, which is your newspaper advertising, TV advertising, radio advertising. Back in the day, this was the only way to get the name of your company out there, and people would spend thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on huge marketing and advertising campaigns. Some companies still do. I mean, when you think of large companies and how much they spend on, for example, halftime ads at the Super Bowl, things like that. So there is still a certain need for it, but it's definitely dying out with the advent of the internet and social media. And that's good for you because you don't have to spend thousands on advertising in order to get your message out there. Let's break it down. What's the point of advertising, right? The point of advertising is so that people know about you, so that they know about your product or they know about your service. But for the first couple of months, do you really want anybody to know about you? What you want to do for the first couple of months is trial your product or service with a very, very small group of people, find out what's wrong with it, and then change what's wrong with it. So, for example, if you're setting up a service, right? My service was a lettings business. Yours could be a cleaning company or a recruitment company or something like that. If you set up and you realise that you need to get customers, of course, you can't have a business without customers. I can't think of one business that can survive without customers. I'm sure there is one, but you need clients, you need customers to buy from you. So instead of going out there and trying to find 100 people that want to use your service and then realising that you're overwhelmed and actually you're not very good at recruitment and you really don't know what to do and you don't have a system in place and all this other stuff, find 5 people that want to use you, or find 5 people that will allow you to use them as a kind of trial, like a kind of guinea pig, because it's only through that that you really hone what you're good at. So when you're starting up your company, if you've quit your job or you've got a plan to quit your job within the next 3 months and you're doing it part-time, which is what I would suggest, find a couple of people who you know. It can either be friends of friends, it can be people in the industry who you've maybe contacted and asked for their help or to mentor you, because that's what you should be doing at this stage. So find a couple of people and approach them and ask if there's anything within your realm of what you're doing that you could help them with. And it will just be a small body of work. Also, if you're doing a B2C business, so I was looking for landlords, I posted adverts on Gumtree. If you're setting up a fitness studio, you can stick up adverts in your local swimming pool or your local council gym if they'll let you. Just get the message out where the people who buy your product are. And the one thing that can't be underestimated in this is social media. And by the way, I'm sorry, I feel as if I'm stopping at every word. It's because I have notes in front of me of bullet points and I keep getting distracted by them, so I'm sorry. Social media cannot be underestimated how important it is to this stage of your journey. It's free to set up a LinkedIn account, it's free to set up a Facebook account, it's free to set up Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You get the message, okay? What you have in your arsenal is time. You've got time to devote to building your audience on these platforms, something that large companies even don't have. When I was starting out my business, I devoted every single second of every single day just to getting the message out there on social media. And it was all about, I was reading books about marketing and social media and stuff like that, rather than books about property, because you've got to be developing your brand at the same time as learning what you're doing. You're not going to set up a Facebook page and have somebody contact you straight away for the product you sell. If you do, you're extremely lucky, right? Your Facebook page is there as it grows with you, so you can set up all this stuff and learn what you're doing and grow them at the same time. So for example, if you were to set up a fitness business, right? and you've advertised for clients and you've got your first 5 clients. Now what you do with those clients is you say, listen, this is what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to quit my job within 3 months. I, at this moment in time, have evenings and weekends free. I'm going to offer you an exclusive reduced rate, and I want you to tell me how you're finding it compared to other personal trainers you have. I want your feedback as well as your business, if you like. And then if we can get it right, I'd like you to recommend me to 5 people, and then your business grows from there. Now by the time you quit your job, which will be 3 months in, you should already have a network of clients, of friends of clients, of friends of clients, of friends of clients, you know, and it just grows exponentially like that. The other big thing to concentrate on at this stage is networking. Going to networking is free. We've done a whole vlog on that before. Some of them you need to pay for, but it's a very, very small amount. So let's imagine your advertising budget that you wrote in your business plan was, say, what, £5,000? If you maybe devote £50 a month for 3 months to networking, that will get you to mostly every networking event that you can go to. And see the ones that have got a price, see for your first 2 months, just contact the organiser and just say, listen, I'm really interested in coming along. I understand there's a price attached. I wondered if you'd maybe give me my first meeting for free, just so I can come along and see what it's like. They would be a fool to say no, because that's exactly what network organisers want. They want somebody at the start of their business so that they can bring them along, they'll find out how great it is, and then they'll sign up. So you should get that for free as well. Okay, so what else do we have? So we've worked out you don't need to spend any money on traditional marketing. So your £5,000 you were going to spend on that is zero, but you've got £150 over 3 months that you're going to spend on networking, okay? The other thing is business cards. Yes, you absolutely need business cards. I'm not going to be, I'm not trying to get you to set up your business with absolute zero. You're going to have to spend some money, but the money you're spending is in the tens rather than the hundreds or the thousands. And let's be honest, the 150 you're going to spend on networking, it's only £50 a month. If you can't afford that though, just go to less networking events and you can still do that for free. So that's a negotiable 150. Business cards is non-negotiable. But your business cards don't have to be all singing, all dancing. You know, I read a book when I first started out and it says don't put your mobile number on your business cards because it looks unprofessional. Put your mobile number on your business cards if you want. You're not going to have them forever. You're only going to have them for 3 to 6 months because then you're going to upgrade and get better ones. So get them from Vistaprint. My first business cards actually had on the back the Vistaprint advert because I couldn't afford to even pay I think it was a £5 you needed to pay to get that off. They were terrible, but there's a saying that if you're not embarrassed by your first set of business cards or your first logo, then you waited too long to get started. Just get them done, just get them ordered and get them out there, and see when you're going along to events and you're presenting them to people and you're receiving people's back, weigh them up against what everybody else's looks like, and if you think that you could do better, then just design a new lot once you're 3 months in and you've started generating some money. But there you go, that's 20 quid. So how much did you think you were going to have to spend on that? Maybe like £200, £250? Definitely not. So the other biggie is your website. The 2 non-negotiables I would say in this area are website and business cards, okay? Now, a good website is going to set you back anything between about £500 to £2,000, okay? So let's say you've budgeted between £500 to £2,000. How do we get you that for free? Well, getting a website done is the same as getting anything done. You need to be in the same room, be in the same sphere, be introduced to the people who make websites, right? And when you're going to start up networking, of course there's going to be somebody there who wants to start a web design company, right? Of course there's going to be somebody there who does digital imaging or graphic design or something like that. Build connections with them. There's definitely going to be something that you can help them with over and above paying them for the service. So if you can build a relationship with somebody there and agree that you work together in some project or you help them with something different. For example, they might have a big social media campaign, and bear in mind you've spent the last 3 months building up your social media followers. So you have like maybe 2,000 followers on Twitter, a couple of hundred on Instagram, 1,000 likes on Facebook. So you can cross promote, so you can say to them, well listen, I'll help you out by promoting you there if you can possibly help me out by doing my website. So if you can do that, if that's a possibility, do that. If not, you can learn how to do it yourself. Doing a WordPress website isn't actually that hard. I've never done one myself, I've got to be honest, but I'm in the process of going to try and learn how to do some basic coding, just so I've got an understanding of it. But WordPress is fairly simple. So you can do it yourself. I would always advise not doing things like that yourself, because your skills, unless you're setting up a website company, but your skills are in your business, and if that's not the thing you're good at, you should always find somebody who's good at it. But if you have zero money and all you have is time, then you can learn how to do it yourself. I think if you meet the right person and you get a relationship with them, you should be able to get a website for maybe about 200 quid if you can do a bit of bargaining. And the other thing to do, for example, say you're setting up an app, right? And you have an idea for an app and you're not quite sure where to proceed with this. How you're going to build an app from scratch, because you don't know anything about coding and you don't know how to get started. All you know is every other app that you've seen requires 20 million of Silicon Valley investment. You don't need 20 million of Silicon Valley investment to get started. What you can do is go to networking events that are specifically aimed at people who are learning to code. There are also actual incubators and startup hubs all over the world. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, you'll have one near you, which teaches people how to code. Go along to the events that they hold, get to know somebody who's learning to code. There's a good chance that somebody who's learning to code is just looking for a project like yours to work on, and make them a joint founder. Bring them in right at the start, and then it's the two of you working on it in your spare time. You can both commit to still having full-time jobs, and you can work on it in your spare time and build it to the stage where you've got some form of proof of concept that you can show to investors, maybe 6-12 months down the line. But you don't need investment money to get it off the ground. Okay, so that's us covered. Advertising, that 5 grand you needed, you need zero. Business cards, if you thought it was going to be about 200 quid, 20 quid, absolute maximum. Website, if you thought it was going to be 2 grand, get it done for 200. And the only other money that you're going to need is your networking, which is about £150. Now, let me just double check if I had anything else. Yeah, I think that's everything that we were going to cover. So what do you need to spend money on? Okay, so you do need to get your company set up. That can cost anywhere between £20 to about £60. Depending on which area you're in. I know it's relatively easy to set one up in the UK. It's relatively easy to set one up in the Middle East, if you're either from here or if you're setting up here. Prices may vary though, so just be wary of that, whatever it is you're setting up. And the other thing that you will need to pay for is getting yourself like your hosting domain. So even if you're setting up your website yourself, you will need to actually pay to get your emails, so that mine is Angela at Amy Executive, so that you've actually got a professional email address. And I think a professional email address is more important than your professional landline telephone number. Nobody really uses landlines anymore. But say you had none of that. Say you only had the £60 to get your company started and you couldn't even afford to do email hosting. Well, just set it up. What's your business? It's like Bill's Dog Groomers. Bill's Dog Groomers at gmail.com or Bill's Dog Groomers at live.com, and just go with that for a couple of months. So there's nothing in there that you can't do right now. Even the networking, it's a negotiable. Do you know what I mean? The paying for it, because you're going to get it for free. So you could literally get started with going networking, your website, getting your business cards sorted, getting out there and telling everybody about your business, and getting stuck into getting your company registered. The total cost of that is what, 40 quid? You could start today, do you know what I mean? So that's already stripped off a good 5 to 7 grand off of what you were expecting to pay that was contained in your business plan. So there's absolutely nothing stopping you. If you've got 40 quid in your bank, go spend it on setting up your company name, go spend it on getting some business cards. And if you've not got 40 quid in your bank, you know how when you were supposed to be going out this Saturday night, just don't go out and spend it on that instead. And that's you. First one, done. Total cost of non-negotiables, 40 quid. And complete cost of maybe including negotiables if you don't manage to get somebody to do the website and you wanted to pay for networking is probably about, what was it, 150, about £300 over 3 months. So that's £100 a month. So it's either 40 quid over 3 months or £100 a month over 3 months. I think that's probably significantly less than what you were hoping. Okay, next one we're going to be looking at office space, and I'll be speaking to you about that a bit later on. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you later.